Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Blowout Sports Podcast. I'm Ryan Hayes.
And I'm Dylan Bracha.
We are here and we have big news. Aaron Rodgers goes down on Monday Night Football against the Bills, torn Achilles.
4 plays in, it just didn't look good from the moment it happened. What was your reaction? Were you watching?
Yeah, I was watching. I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm a Bears fan. I've seen him destroy us for years. I've gained this respect for him that I don't even have for any other player. I was so excited to finally be able to root for him without constraints of him being on the Packers. And 4 plays in, his first sack, Leonard Floyd comes off the edge, untouched.
Yeah.
Dwayne Brown missed a block, which everybody the entire offseason thought Mekhi Becton is going to be the one who's causing the problems. But it's ironically the veteran, Dwayne Brown. He gets off the edge. He tries to spin out of the sack like he's Justin Fields, and he tears his Achilles. I feel terrible.
It's just not the story anybody wanted to hear. Nobody watching that game wanted to see that. Like, we're talking, it was 4 plays in, and he went down.
It's hard to even to comprehend all the hype that went into the season. It was going to be special. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is such a guy. He's easy to root for. He is just likable to me. I know not everybody likes him. Not everybody.
Yeah, he does have a pretty anti-following.
He does have an anti-following, but you know what? If you have a lot of haters, that means you're doing something right, in my opinion. And I think Aaron Rodgers is cool. I think he comes back from this.
You do?
I do. I really do.
At 40 years old?
I think he comes back. I think he's got to. I mean,
I don't know.
I hope so. He's got to rehab that Achilles anyway, so maybe just come back to the Jets. You haven't taken the hits this year. You took 1.
Oh, I don't know.
I know.
40 years old.
I know.
I mean, he's got his voodoo stuff, but 40 years old, man.
I might be wishful thinking. Maybe the ayahuasca can heal him.
He thinks
physically.
he can.
Yeah, he's gonna believe. He will always believe in himself, and that's what makes him so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, we'll see. I'm rooting for him, but that's a tough break for the Jets. Zach Wilson played decently. He got the throws. I mean,
I don't know about all that. It was the Breece Hall show.
Breece Hall was electric.
He was that 80-yard run to set up the field goal they inevitably took. Insane. They were in like their own end zone, and he takes it and just he's gone.
He's a different type of fast. He gets out. He's quick. He
gets
out
quick,
and he's just like, wow.
Ran out of gas. He could have scored on that.
Ran out of gas.
I think
Is that
he
the
ran
ACL? Is that conditioning? I don't know. Right? Eli Manning thought conditioning, but we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who really knows? That was a great game though. To end on a punt return. That's
in overtime.
Everything you want if you're ESPN. I mean,
yeah,
was
they
the
loved
highest
it.
viewed game since a long time ago.
Well, I mean, in general, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers'
Huge.
debut in the Jets, and it's an AFC East rivalry game. Everybody wanted to see this game.
Yeah.
You got the Buffalo fans alone. You know Bills Mafia is crazy. The Jets fans have been waiting for something like this to happen, and it just went like nobody thought it would. And it's heartbreaking. That's the NFL.
Yeah, that's the NFL. It can change in an instant, just like it changed for the Chiefs week 1, losing to
What
the
can I
new
say?
age
What can I
Lions.
say?
I did not pick this one.
I did pick them, but no Travis Kelce served to be the problem for them. Kadarius Toney, this dude forgot his gloves or something.
Drops.
That was insane. He had how many drops?
3, and 2 of them were crucial. One of them was that
Pick six.
that third or not. It was a second down play, but it was a down the field play that would have put them into field goal range in the closing moments of the game.
True.
1, so that's the game, and then also the pick six.
Pick six.
to
He also
add
had a
insult
deep
to
ball.
injury.
He had a deep ball he dropped. That you're flipping fields with that. It was a rough game for him.
Yeah, I was texting one of my friends. You can't typically pin the blame on one player, and you can't, but you can too, because that is a swing of at least 10 points for.
Well, I mean,
and
you're talking about an
potentially more.
offense who couldn't get going after their first touchdown. Like
Right.
it was a 14-0 run. It was after halftime, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was right after halftime.
Yeah,
There
so
was
we're
the pick
third
six.
quarter. They hadn't had anything going. I could have been the game right there. Like the Chiefs could have just kept
Could have been.
doing this back and forth battle of nobody scoring. They win.
you got to see him bounce back. He's got to bounce back, or Mahomes just won't trust him, and they'll have to bring in new receivers because it's been pretty rough in KC. Yeah, they win the Super Bowl last year, but their offense was different. It was a different Mahomes. It was a West Coast offense, run heavy, passes to McKinnon in the flat. It was a lot of
he disappeared.
Stuff, a lot of easy stuff.
He had a catch in the first drive, and then they didn't look his way again. And I'm like, well, that worked last year. Why you not going towards that? Pacheco, he bounced out with an injury, came back, and they didn't really run too much. And then I was surprised Clyde was back.
Yeah,
Edwards-Helaire. I thought he was off the team.
Yeah, no, he's hanging around. They need some more juice. I mean, Helaire didn't even look that bad.
No, he looked good on the first drive.
I thought he was pretty good. Now, they were giving him the whole first drive.
Yeah, I was like,
what's going on?
You guys have the number one in Pacheco here.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
They run an interesting operation, as do the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel goes around and just drops 36. Tua with 460 something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Chargers defense, they need some help coaching. That was terrible game from them, and I'm not trying to just sound like a Tua hater here, but like that Chargers defense was not good. They did not double cover Tyreek. I mean, the only thing I can say they did well was kind of shut down Waddle to an extent. Like he wasn't a big factor, but when Tyreek goes for almost 300 and he has 2 touchdowns, like. That back corner end zone one too, where like the defender just has to put his hands up and it's batted up. It's nothing's happening there. It looked like a perfect pass because the defender just didn't defend Tyreek. First play of the game, they had Khalil Mack on Tyreek. Like it was just a bad scheme, and the Dolphins ate on it.
Yeah, what boggles my mind about the Chargers most is they have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa off the edge, and they're not generating consistent pressure. And the Miami they're dropping back almost every single play. I mean, they're getting the ball out quicker, sure, but not even every time. Tua's getting clean pockets against 2 of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Not to mention the secondary they have. They have Derwin James and J.C. Jackson. Like that should be shutting down, at least the second half of the field, and they're not. They were letting up deep bombs the whole game.
It will be interesting to see, by week 15, whether we're talking about, the Miami Dolphins have a fantastic offense, and this was just a shootout. Like, how are we going to see this game in a few weeks is interesting because it could be different. I really don't know. We don't know how good Miami is because I was thinking today Miami could be some sort of sleeper team. I mean, that was really impressive what Tua is able to do with Tyreek.
Well, when I look at week 1, I saw a lot of sloppy football. I mean, like if there was a game where one team looked good, the other team typically didn't. So for that game, it was nice to see a genuine shootout. Like it was close. And I mean, there was games that were close that shouldn't have been close. If we're talking the Giants and the Cowboys, that game should have been close. And the Giants ran nothing right.
An embarrassing showing. Really.
Embarrassing.
I mean, second game back-to-back in New York. No, it was the first game, and then in this back-to-back. And then to get blown out 40-0 in that manner.
At home.
2 pick sixes in the first, or no, like block kick and then the pick
it was
six
the block,
in the first quarter.
And it was a pick 6 off Saquon.
Just a disaster. I mean, and that's how you start your season. Expectations were sky high for the Giants. Some people, they still are, but to lose 40-0 at home to a division rival is demoralizing for a team, and that's going to set the tone for their entire season.
They have a long road now. Like, if you can't show up against your NFC East rivals, they're not going to make it far. I mean, they also have the Eagles twice a year, and they have the Cowboys again in Dallas. Like it's not going to get much easier this year.
I'll be the first to say it. I said it before the extension happened. This was a huge mistake.
Way too much money.
Daniel Jones this extension. I like he was able to operate this play action Brian DeBall scheme. They need a more talented quarterback, in my opinion.
They do, and they also need help offensively. It can't just be Saquon. Like he had a great year last year. There's not enough around. Darren Waller's great, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury, and how much can you rely on him if he's going to miss half the season?
Agreed. Darren Waller, he's dealing with the same hamstring injury he was dealing with last year. it seems to me, the vibe I'm getting is that this is going to be an all-season thing for Waller, and that they're going to have to be relying on Bellinger and some of their other depth at tight end, because I'm not sure Waller will be available for them.
And that's a huge blow. Like, they don't really have a solid wide receiver one that I'm like, all right, chuck it up to him. Like, it's going to be really tough for them to move the ball if they can only run the ball or do screen passes.
They're going to need that line to do well. I know Andrew Thomas is injured. I don't know the extent of that injury, but they're going to need to be as healthy as they can be up front, because they will be relying on that run game.
Yeah.
I want to throw it over to you for this Pats tough loss.
It was a tough loss, but I think it shows a lot of people what the Pats defense was made of. They were 3-and-outing the Eagles offense, and that was not something you could do last year almost ever. And they were doing it consecutive times. We went, I think it was a whole quarter's length almost, of no first downs. And that's between both teams. It was rough first game for both teams. We had too many mistakes in the first quarter. Pick 6 pretty much set the tone. Like, you don't make that mistake, we might have won that game when it boils down to it. And then the end, we had the opportunities, and they're not quite there yet. But I think with some fine tuning this year, I mean, Mac looked great.
I agreed. I was just going to bring that up. I'm not the huge Mac Jones.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
He
looked really solid. He looked really confident, and it was a different Mac. It was the Mac Jones the Patriots were expecting to get when they drafted him, and they saw some confidence issues with him last year. I didn't see that in game 1 against, the team who a lot of people think could have won the Super Bowl, should have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a lot of people out. Like, the O-line was a shell of itself. A lot of our starters were out. Onwenu, just to name one right there. Devontae Parker was out at wide receiver. That changes so much. The defense, though, is, I think, the highlight of the game. That defense is going to be good all year, and that's what's going to cause some of these upsets for us. If they can play like that, you're going to get guys off the field and give us those chances. Those turnovers are going to come just like Jabril Peppers did to Jalen Hurts. Those picks are going to fly in, and it's going to give us a real chance if we can hammer it into the end zone this year.
I think the Patriots showed a lot of character in that game. I would think it was positive.
They
weren't expecting to win, and they did well.
They did well, and we do have a tough turnaround, but we're going to have to make it work.
Yeah. Bears have a pretty ugly game, to be honest with you. It was appeared worse on the outside than it actually was. There were some really bad spots. The biggest story coming out of the game is how poorly Chase Claypool played.
I heard really bad rumors that he wasn't even trying to study the playbook during the offseason, and that's not going to earn you any reps.
I'm not sure how he was doing on the playbook, whether or not he knows it. He wasn't blocking on bubble screens.
No.
He wasn't engaging a defender 2 yards down the field. And
he's a bigger body. Like, you have to do that.
That's his only purpose on a run-heavy team. Your quarterback's Justin Fields.
Right.
The team almost set a record for rushing yards. The fact that they trade for a 6'5" receiver, and he won't block is very frustrating. They're gonna have to. There's Eberflus, the coach, said he's looking into all options in terms of will he be activated, because Equanimeous St. Brown was deactivated last week in favor of Claypool. They play the same position. Equanimeous St. Brown is a better player in the Bears scheme than Chase Claypool right now, unless Claypool wants to block, because Claypool brings more to the table as a receiver, but that's not going to be unlocked when we can't even get Mooney a bubble screen.
Yeah.
It needs to be worked on, and they need to stop. They need to get the ball down the field a little bit, make the defense respect it a little bit, get that box less full, because there's 8 in there every time, because they know they're running.
Yeah.
I mean, they're far too predictable of a play. It's elementary.
And I'm sorry, you traded for DJ Moore. You have to use DJ Moore.
Have 2 targets is unacceptable.
That's not going to work.
Unacceptable.
He is your number 1 receiver, and he's a damn good number 1 receiver. Use him.
They better be hearing the noise. I'm assuming that it will not be that bad schematically next week. It cannot all be fixed with scheme. Their defense was not talented enough. Their pass rush was ridiculously terrible. I could probably count on one hand how many designed blitzes the Bears did the entire game. It was a very conservative, stupid called game by the offense and the defense, and that's typical.
I will say credit Jordan Love.
Jordan Love played a good game.
Stepping into the role of new Aaron Rodgers for the Packers. He looked really good.
He did the job. He got clean pockets all day, and he made the throws. I'm not taking anything away from Jordan Love. He played a great game, but the Bears cannot make it that easy on their opponents.
Yeah, I agree.
One more storyline from last week is the Joe Burrow bad game. In Joe Burrow's defense, he was playing in terrible conditions. Nobody's going to be making plays in that conditions. They needed to run the ball. Cleveland's a better running team. It was not a good formula for the Bengals, but it was still ugly.
I mean, this guy just got the bag, and he got the most bag ever. Like, you got to show up a little more than that. 3 points is unacceptable. Division team. This is the Battle of Ohio. Like, this is a highly touted up game for both teams. They love this matchup. They want to win. And Burrow just didn't show me he wanted to win that game.
It's hard to get that big of a contract and have that be your first performance.
It's rough.
I know he'll bounce back.
I agree.
A great player, and there's no concern that this is going to carry over. I think it was the conditions, but it's got to be better, and I think it will be.
Has to get better because that team is a contender to win a Super Bowl. They were in it 2 years ago. You gotta find something here
in Cincinnati these days somehow. I mean, Joe Burrow he's
flipped the franchise.
He sure has. Are you ready to make some picks?
Yeah, let's talk about next week.
Let's do it. Let's talk about tonight.
Yes,
let's talk about soon.
This will probably be on air when you'll be able to hear this. This game probably already ended.
Right. Vikings, Eagles.
I'm not gonna lie. This is a primetime game. I love my boy Kirko, but this guy does not play well under the lights, and I want him to. I really do. Like, I love the Vikings team, but that defense didn't show me anything last week, and the offense way too slow last week. Too many turnovers, and that wasn't prime time. I'm not saying the Eagles look great last week, but they look better than the Vikings. So for that reason, I'm all in with the Eagles in this game.
I am too. Give me the Eagles. This matchup was ugly last year. Kirk was terrible.
It was brutal.
Throwing it to Slay like he was his own receiver.
Yeah. You got to lead Jefferson at some point.
Yeah.
You got to put it in front of him.
I'm guessing they don't put up. That was historically bad last year. I think the Eagles win here. I think they win by 7.
Yeah, I see a closer game
and
today.
I think Hurts gets 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's a bold prediction.
2 rushing touchdowns for Kirk.
Okay.
No,
not Kirk. Jalen Hurts. I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Oh, my God. No. Yeah, give me the Eagles. Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to stick with that one.
Ravens, Bengals.
Now, this is what we were just talking about. Can Joe Burrow bounce back? And speaking of quarterbacks who didn't look that great, Lamar, 2 fumbles.
The fantasy owners are not happy.
No, with either of those quarterbacks.
No, neither of them.
So both of these teams have something to prove, and it's a divisional game again.
Back to back for the Bengals.
I would like to say Burrow bounces back before Lamar. I think he has more chemistry with the team, leading to, they're going to pick him up before OBJ and Zay. I love Zay Flowers, by the way. They're going to have to do some work to pick up Lamar because it's not the same chemistry that Joe Burrow has with T. Higgins, 0 points last week. That has to change. And Jamar Chase.
I'm taking the Bengals this week, too. This is an easier pick for me. I just think their offense does well. I think they score 30 points.
They torched them.
They did.
They torched them. He had 1,000 yards against them 2 years ago.
They've had their number in 2 games. Right.
Yeah.
They've had their number. Burrow plays particularly well against the Ravens, which not many players do.
No.
Joe Burrow's great. My nugget here, waiver wire pickup if he's there. Gus Edwards was available in too many of my leagues. Why? I don't know, but he's going to be probably getting 18 carries this week, and he's a
brutal loss for the Ravens not having J.K. Dobbins again. Again, season-ending injury, and that sucks.
He might
First
be
game.
done. Is
he might have
Dobbins
to.
Done. I like
him too.
Like him to be. I want him to be able to walk in 20 years.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, at this rate, this dude hasn't played half a season yet.
It's terrible that some people's bodies just
can't handle it.
They're just, for whatever reason.
I'm not to say that this guy can't go somewhere else and play a third down back role and only, maybe catch the ball every now and then, but he can't be a featured back taking all these hits because his body just doesn't keep up with it.
He was a fantastic prospect. I mean, it's just created another universe. J.K. Dobbins could be the best running back in the league.
I agree.
It's just crazy. Seahawks, Lions in Detroit.
I'm riding the Detroit wave here. I mean, the Seahawks did not look good last week, and if Geno is deciding he's not gonna go back to the way he was last year, and that defense doesn't look any better, the Lions are gonna have a cakewalk figuring out their offense.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little hard about this game here. The Lions is the the pick that it's jumping off the table, but the Seahawks have some good corners that are going to be able to chase those, Amon-Ra around, and then I think the Lions have some issues in terms of the rest of their weapons. Jahmyr Gibbs should be good.
He needs more usage.
I'm talking myself into the Lions right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, give me the Lions.
Join
me.
me.
Safe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not really like just a safe pick, but I mean, they just didn't look good last week, the Seahawks.
I would be surprised if there was an improvement. This is a hard game. This is really a hard game to
Pete
call.
Carroll's a great coach.
I think that DK does really well against the Lions receivers, and I think they got Lockett, they got Njigba. Is he playing? I don't know.
I'm not sure. He played last week, so I imagine so.
I'm going Seahawks to be different.
All right.
Yeah, we
do got to split it up.
Compete.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I want the Seahawks, and I like them too. I'm not just picking them. Colts and Texans.
Is
a snoozer.
It is a snoozer.
Sorry to the Colts and Texans fans, but it is.
Is he healthy?
Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's playing?
I'm pretty sure. That's just my gauge on what I've heard.
Okay. I'm leaning towards the Colts.
Yeah.
They almost upset the Jags last week. They played really well. The defense looks like they're coming back too. And I like the way they're off. If Pittman plays like that every week, I mean, he's back.
Yeah,
if that's
Pittman
the
was
case.
great.
He was
Pittman
great.
Was great.
I'm rocking with the Colts.
I'm rocking with the Texans. Give
their
me the
defense
more
looked good.
NFL ready QB. I think Stroud is the more capable. He was the best out of the rookies last week. He was a 63% completion percentage, 200 something yards.
Yeah.
Solid game. It was just he did the job. He didn't throw picks. He was good.
Did he have a touchdown though?
I don't think so, but he was just solid. It was like an 8 yards per pass. It wasn't like he was dinking and dunking. He was doing it. And I think Richardson's good, but I just think Stroud is that pocket passer right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Texans have a lot of veteran talent, which I think will actually rise him. I think the Texans are like a 6 or 7 win team.
Really?
I don't think they're that bad.
I don't know if they can reach 6, but like they are better than people will give them. That defense looked great last week. Like they were slowing down the Ravens that everybody has as a top offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they got good corners in Stingley. He's great. And they got a good run defense, and they don't really have a rusher in.
Right. I think
the
they got
Colts.
Will Anderson for. Or are you talking for the Colts?
Yeah,
they don't
for
have
the
a good running back.
Colts.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Damon Pierce on the
Right.
Texans, and I would like to see him get more production too as
Yeah.
a fantasy owner.
Yeah. That should be an interesting game. That should be an interesting game. Division always interesting.
Yeah.
Bears Bucks in Tampa.
See, like the Bears didn't look that good last week. And like I would love to just be like all in on the Bears train because I was all in on them getting at least 9 wins, and it's just like it's tough. Then you got the Bucks who come out last week and they upset the Vikings. They look pretty good. Give me the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bears. I'm homering all
Homering,
day,
I know.
but like they're not as bad as
This is a coin flip.
they gotta if they scheme it right and their players give 100% effort, which should be a given.
Just Claypool.
Yeah, I think that they are a better team than Tampa Bay. Like just player for player, I think Fields is dynamic enough to make some stuff happen. I think they will get the ball. To DJ Moore torched the Bucks last year for the Panthers, and
He plays them twice a year.
yeah, he's very aware of the corners he'll be facing.
But your defense has to now slow down Mike Evans, who had a great game.
Right, Evans will
And
be
Godwin.
tough to stop. I like Jalen on Evans. He won't stop him by any means, but I feel like. Okay, we have one guy there, and I'm a little worried about the corners. Kyler Gordon broke his hand. It will be Tyreek Stevenson, the rookie, on Godwin,
Chris
Godwin. And, yeah, it'll be tough.
Those are tough matchups.
Yeah.
I mean, shootout?
Shootout. It could be a shootout. It should be a shootout. As long as the Bears show up, it should be a shootout. I like the Bears.
Bucks defense looked pretty good.
Yeah. I like the Bears. I'm picking them. I don't really have a good reason.
I know.
I mean, I just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that they're better than what they put on the tape last week. I think
I agree. I do agree with that. They just got to show it.
we will see. Chiefs Jags, 1 o'clock game in Jacksonville.
Oh, in Jacksonville. I don't know if I'm all in on the Jacksonville Jaguars yet. I love Calvin Ridley. Great game from him. And if I'm Trevor Lawrence, just keep feeding him. But I'm not turning my back on the Chiefs yet. I think Travis Kelce will be back. I think Mahomes has something to show up here for, he's looking to bounce back after his first week 1 loss ever. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Jags. I think they're going to come into this game with a lot of juice.
They should.
They got bounced by the Chiefs last year in the playoffs.
That's true.
They're going to be coming in. They're going to want this game really bad, and the Chiefs are going to want this game really bad too. But the Jags, they're just going to have it. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw for 350 yards. This is not a this is a good matchup for him.
It is.
It's a good match. It's going to be a good game for Ridley to get going.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game for Ingram to get going and ETN. I think they have a lot of weapons, and
they have so many.
Out-weapon the Chiefs, and I think they have a great offense. And then they always said in the past you don't want to get in a shootout with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do want to get in a shootout with the Chiefs if you're the Jags, and you can win it because you have Trevor Lawrence, and he's spectacular. He's elite, and I think he takes the next step this year.
I mean, this could be the game where you're seriously looking at Trevor Lawrence as a guy.
I think this
not
will
just,
be the game. I think that will be the conversation.
If he walks in and puts the Chiefs at 0-2, that's going to be the conversation.
He's going to do it. He's the only quarterback in his class that made the playoffs. He wins the playoff game. He's doing very well. He's doing exactly what Trevor Lawrence was supposed to do as the best prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck. And he's been great.
Yeah, he has. That first season, I'm not going to put too much on him because his coaching staff wasn't that great. Urban Meyer didn't help him.
He was literally assaulting the kicker in practice. It was a wild situation in Jacksonville that year. Packers, Falcons in Atlanta.
I might be on the love train now. I mean, the Falcons I don't think are going to be that good this year. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I took Love in fantasy. I'm not starting him this week because I got to make sure he's going to be consistent, but I'm taking the Packers.
I'm taking the Packers
like
too.
What I see.
Their defense is great. Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt. I think Quay Walker is going to be injured. Jair, they're good.
Yeah,
they are. Just
Romeo
good.
Dobbs on offense looked phenomenal.
Dobbs,
I'm not sure if Watson will be back, but
he'll be back eventually.
He's a great player.
Jones is going to get healthy. AJ Dillon. They have a really stout team still. Despite the fact that
AJ Dillon might have to have a better game here.
They're a unit. The Packers. They're always been a unit. I always thought Rodgers. They've always been a unit, though.
They have.
Rodgers was almost a bigger part than the whole. Packers.
Yeah.
Raiders and Bills in Buffalo.
This could be a big game.
This could be. This is a big game.
For
both teams.
For both teams, yes. The Bills don't want to go to 0-2 here. And if Josh Allen plays like he did last week, 4 turnovers, it's not that good. They're going to be in a bad spot because Josh Allen's the guy for them. And Diggs might throw a fit again, and you know how Diggs is. He's a drama queen.
Right.
And the Raiders are coming off a win, but they lost their now star wide receiver Jacoby Myers. Looks like he's not playing. Very unfortunate. 2 touchdowns last week. Still have Devontae Adams, and Hunter Renfrow can go back to any sort of shape he was in 2 seasons ago. They still got an offense. Josh Jacobs needs to pick it up if they want any chance to win this. That being said, I can't see the Bills going 0-2 here. And that hurts because I'd love for them to go 0-2 here, but I have to take the Bills.
Agreed. To me, this game can go either it'll be about 41-24 or it'll be about 41-6.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be one of those.
You're not giving them a chance to even come close.
No.
Okay.
I think that, it's not even about the Raiders. Like, that's why I want to give them like the 40 and even 31. Like, I think that they can come in there and score points, but I think the Bills are scoring 40 here because the Raiders do not offer much on defense.
Yeah.
They have a good edge. They got a decent pass rush. We'll see. I don't think they're bringing much to the table, especially with their secondary. And I think Josh Allen honestly tears it apart.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to have a bounce back game. He needs to.
And even though he was playing poorly, I still saw him spreading. He's still Josh Allen. I saw him spread the ball. He's got that strong arm. He's got Diggs. He's got McKenzie. He's got
not McKenzie. No, he's in the Colts now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. Do they have another speedster? I remember seeing one.
They got that guy from the Saints.
Okay.
I think his name's Hardy or something.
Okay. Yeah. I thought he was still there. Yeah, they got speed. They got weapons. Dalton Kincaid would be great. Get Bills.
Okay.
Chargers, Titans at 1. Wow.
Yeah. I'm not high on the Titans. Their offense was dreadful to watch last week. That game against the Saints was brutal.
5 field goals.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Pat's legend Nick Folk getting it done, but couldn't get the win.
No.
If we're gonna talk about who can perform on offense, it's the Chargers. We saw that. He was balling out against a pretty good Miami defense. So I'm gonna have to take the Chargers there.
No disagreement here. It's the Chargers. The Titans were bad. They shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse. Defensively, they're going to have problems. The Chargers should score a lot of points here and put them away kind of easily. But, you know, it is a home game for the Titans, and you really never know what you're going to get. It is a Vrabel coach team with Derrick Henry, with
healthy.
Yeah, with a solid line. I mean, they are always a threat, but
the problem is they got to get the ball to D-Hop, not underthrow him so the corner can just come in and pick it.
Tannehill is not the option.
They got 2 young guys there, and they might have to start thinking about using them.
I think Will Levis counter will be starting to count that down pretty quickly.
Think?
Yeah.
Well, he's 3rd on the depth chart. He's not even. He didn't even surpass Malik.
Interesting.
And I liked him coming out of college.
Yeah, to me, it's not even close between Levis and Malik Willis in terms of where they are. I think Levis is far ahead of Malik Willis, but
we haven't seen him in an NFL setting.
We haven't seen him, but that's just as a prospect, and that's just
as a prospect,
as possible. But who knows? Maybe Malik's better, but that's just how I viewed them coming out. I think Levis is a lot ahead of him, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a story for a different day.
Right. 49ers Rams were opening into this 4:00 window in LA, SoFi.
Yeah, I'm not picking anybody against the Niners anytime soon. It's going to have to be a real rough matchup for them. They dominated the Steelers. It was not close. Everything looked good for them on all sides of the ball.
This could be a hard one. This could be a tough matchup.
I know it's divisional, but
I just like the Rams beat the Seahawks 30-13 last week,
but there's no Cooper Kupp. And I mean, that is credit to them. That is credit to them. But can you beat that Niners defense without Cooper Kupp?
I was just Stafford, man. I think he can just do it with any receiver.
I don't know. That's the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams. I want upset points.
I can't. I'm glad you're picking something different.
They look great. I think the Rams look so great last week. I was just like, it was nice to see McVay. Doing happy. He's moving up Puka Nacua, and he's getting production. What is going on? That's awesome.
It was a lot of names I've never heard before.
Yeah, it's like this makes me want to grab Cooper Kupp in every league I can get because he's probably going to be electric again. The Ram, I mean, to do that with those names.
It was like, great.
Wow.
It was a great scheme they put together. But we're still talking about the Niners.
Yeah.
Still talking about
I'll
them.
probably end up living to regret this, but I'm taking the Rams.
You're going 2 weeks in a row going against the Niners.
Wow.
Yeah, you picked the Steelers last week.
I don't know. I am high on the Niners, but I don't know. Giants Cardinals. Ooh, could this be a snooze fest?
I think I might fall asleep here.
I
think the Giants have a bounce back game. I'm not saying they play perfect, but I don't have any hope that you said Arizona, right?
Arizona, yeah.
I don't have much hope that Arizona can win a game this year.
Really? None?
Kyler comes back, we'll see what he looks like, but this offense didn't look good. The defense showed some spots. They had that turnover. I think it was a strip fumble into the end zone, but they don't look that good.
Yeah, I mean, this should be the Giants. I mean, if it's not, then we got real problems with them. I mean,
you got a problem with Danny Dimes.
Josh Dobbs. I mean, I wanted to talk myself into the Cardinals, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's they played with heart. I think
they did.
Gannon has them going. I think they exceeded expectations.
They got that fire in their gut.
They shouldn't be playing this well with Dobbs. I'm shocked they didn't keep Colt McCoy. I would honestly
I think
take
they
the
win.
Cardinals if
I think
they
the
had Colt
Cardinals
McCoy.
win last week if they had Colt McCoy. The whole time I was watching that game, they kept referencing the fact that Dobbs didn't even know the players' names on the team. So it's like,
wacky.
that's really tough to play in.
I can only, and this is like Colt McCoy drama, who cares? But like, I can only imagine that Colt McCoy himself wanted out of the Cardinals because
Right?
I don't get it. I don't.
I'm not sure though,
understand-
because
No,
he's
I know.
just a career backup at this point, at his age, I
It
should
just
say.
doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would the Cardinals, who they have this backup, who's been on the team? I know it's a
And he
new
was
coaching staff.
pretty good.
He's been there for like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's that's backup to Kyler Murray, and then right before the season, I was like, oh yeah, Colt McCoy, it's his time. He's gonna get a little
No,
start.
trade for Dobbs.
Dobbs.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
It is really strange.
Gannon gets his team though.
We'll see.
Jets, Cowboys in Dallas. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Is Zach Wilson going to step up to the plate and be, the second overall pick that they thought of him? I say no. That defense looked great, but everything about the Cowboys looked great last week. Like, let's be honest here. 40-0 shutout on the road. Now they're coming home. I'm going to take the Cowboys here.
This is going to be a low scoring game, I think.
Yeah,
I think we
I
got
agree.
probably the two best defenses in the NFL. Maybe not counting the Niners in there. I think these are
They're top 5.
Yeah,
both of
is
them.
some really good defenses. Zach Wilson will keep the scoring down. Dak will probably get a couple. You'd imagine. I don't know.
Picks?
Yeah, picks, touchdown, maybe. I don't know. I just think Dallas eventually scores more than the Jets, but I think this is probably going to be a really boring game.
I do see this being a lower scoring game too.
Yeah. Commanders and Broncos. Oh wait, did you make a pick?
Yeah,
I'm
I
picking
did.
Dallas. I'm
Yeah.
picking Dallas,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so that's on the record. I'm picking. We got Commanders, Broncos in Denver.
Snooze fest.
They got a lot of these.
That's
Get
the
them out of the
snooze
way
fest.
early, I guess. But while we're all still engaged, yeah, Sam Howell and Russell Wilson.
I'm not really high on either of these teams. Like, Washington wants to believe themselves to be something, and they struggled last week. And the Broncos want to believe there's something, and they struggled last week. So it's like this game honestly could end in a tie.
Could be a tie.
It really could be a tie. If I were to predict a tie at any point this season, it might be this game. But I think I'm going to pick a winner here. I'm going to say Russ doesn't really cook, but he cooks enough.
I'm gonna say Russ gets the microwave going.
He might
and
get
he
enough
gets it, like,
leftovers
half-cooked.
there. Yeah.
It's cold in the middle.
Good
You
enough.
don't enjoy eating it, but you do.
Yeah.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
Broncos.
I just don't even really want to talk about it. It's just so bad.
Dolphins, Patriots. We got. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the Sunday night game. Dolphins, Patriots at Gillette.
Gillette. We got back-to-back home games to start the season. Brutal opponents. Yes, we are getting Miami coming off of an electric game. Can our defense now be able to play better and halt that is the question. I think Tyreek gets more locked up this game because all eyes are on him. And in that case, I think Waddle is going to be our problem. But, I mean, I'm a homer. I'm taking the Pats. We looked too good last week against the reigning NFC champs.
Oh, it's fun. I think it'll be a fun game. I think Belichick throws something at Mike McDaniel he's never seen before. I think it will be a struggle.
It's going to be a tough
They're not
game.
going to be able to do the things they want to do. Tyreek will be doubled. I don't know if you can fully take him out of a game, but they'll try.
If there's a guy who can scheme him out,
Right.
it's Bill.
Right. So you're right. Waddle comes in, makes some more plays. Maybe they get the running game going a little bit more. They
We'll
go to
see.
these other options. I think the Dolphins eventually find a way here. I just don't know if the Patriots have enough firepower on offense to keep up.
Yeah.
It's not to say that they can't make this a close game. I just think the Dolphins are a top team in the AFC.
Hey, I mean, it's fair. We're going to have to see if Matt can do what he did again. Like, he has to show up because without a quarterback, you can't win a lot of games.
Gonna need some offense in this game, which he's very, very capable of. I just think it's gonna be hard to. They might need to score 30, and I don't know if they got 30 in them.
That's fair.
Monday night we got the double header this week, which is week 2 now, which is interesting. Saints Panthers in Carolina. We got some Bryce Young, Derek Carr action.
Yeah, I mean, not that the Saints looked great last week. I think the Saints are going to just have a steady season of winning. You know, like their schedule is fairly easy. And I don't think Derek Carr is gonna let a rookie beat him week 2.
Yeah, playing the rookie.
Yeah.
Expect some mistakes out of Bryce Young.
Yeah, Saints defense looked good.
Yeah, he's playing a tough defense. It won't be easy. They will probably lose to the Saints. It's a division opponent. I think the Saints are probably the class of the NFC South.
Yeah.
I don't really see them being touched much. The Panthers are rebuilding.
Yeah,
Saints.
yeah.
Browns, Steelers.
Oh, so there's 2 Monday night games.
the double. Yeah,
that's
this
what
is
you
the
meant.
one. Yeah.
Oh,
So we got another one.
how does this work?
Actually, in the past, they've had one at 7 and one at 10.
Yeah.
This year, they're having 2 games at the same time. So one of them starts at 7:15, the
Yeah.
Panthers game, at 8:15, Browns Steelers.
Why are they doing this?
I think this is a bad decision.
Are they
I
both on ESPN then?
I started complimenting ESPN for their great Monday Night Football, and now I believe so. I mean,
What?
I know they have the rights. We got one of them's on ABC. Okay, but that's an ESPN.
That's still
affiliate.
it's an
Yeah.
affiliate. They're all owned by Disney. That's really strange.
Yeah, it's not often you compete against yourself.
Yeah,
when
that's. I mean, I guess you want somebody to watch
yeah,
your team.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. For the game, I think the Browns will win.
Yeah, their defense looked disgusting.
Yeah, with a question mark at the end of it. The Browns' defense looked great. The Steelers looked pretty bad in every facet. They may have been playing a great team, but I
said, I'm just not that high on the Steelers this year, and I'm not that high on Cleveland either. But I think Cleveland's got a more complete team.
Yeah, I agree.
So give me Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah.
too.
So now let's shift to a different sport. We haven't really talked about anything besides football here, but let's talk a little bit about basketball.
A little basketball.
Yeah, on Sunday, the FIBA World Cup concluded. New champs in Germany.
Germany.
I don't know how many people picked them to win it.
Not me.
Not me.
It's Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a roster, not that they were the greatest team ever assembled, but I mean, you actually had players. You had the most NBA players on that team.
Right. I mean, most big names. I mean, you always expect Team USA to come out on top when we're playing basketball, but not this time. And it coincided with the comments from
Noah Lyles.
Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
The track guy.
Yeah, really strange. I know you want to read it.
Yeah, I can get that quote pulled up in 1 second.
Yeah, it just comes out of left field. I mean, we're talking about basketball in general, but you got it?
Yeah, I got this quote right here. It says, "What hurts me most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their heads. World champion of what? The United States?"
Yeah, it comes off so wrong. Like, anybody can play in the NBA. It's a harder road. Yes, you're not in the United States. You don't play college. But look at Luka Doncic and look at Giannis. Like, those are two of the biggest names in basketball. They're not from America.
Right, and a lot of them weren't playing in this tournament. And
Right.
I understand the spirit of what Noah Lyles is trying to say here. Like, I understand, world champion, but the NBA has the best players in the world.
in the world.
And if the United States wanted to put out LeBron James and Steph Curry and Anthony Davis, and they all wanted to play in this competition, they could have, and they would have won.
I hate to break it to him, but like the FIBA World Cup is not as respected as the Olympics or the NBA.
Yeah, LeBron
LeBron wanted to play. He would destroy everybody. You know, they just turn it down.
This is a conversation that I don't think he wants to actually have, because if you really want to like break it down, like, yeah, LeBron James has won how many gold medals? Like,
Right.
too many to count. I mean, he doesn't even need any more. He
Right.
just keeps winning them.
Yeah. We're talking about the finals was Serbia versus Germany. Like, those are not two countries you think basketball with. I mean, the biggest surprise to me, I think, was that they didn't even get a medal, the U.S. They lost in the third place qualifying game against Canada. So it was like they got a good roster. Clearly, they're just not in it the same as some of these other guys repping their country.
I'm not even gonna go up. Maybe U.S. just lost. They had younger players. You know, they just had a bad tournament and they got beat fair and square. But all I'm saying is, it wasn't necessarily the United States' biggest priority to win this competition. I'm not even trying to downplay the competition. And I hate that we have to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
I wish we didn't, because it almost made it a little awkward.
Well,
because
first
we had
of
to
all,
bring it
stick
up.
to your sport.
Yeah,
You know, you're facing people that are genuinely going to be good from wherever country they're coming out of.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're training for. not everybody around the world plays basketball.
It's a different
That's
world.
a simple. I mean, like America predominantly has basketball players everywhere. We have courts everywhere that people will sit at all day and play. It's just a different thing, state to state or country to country, I should say.
Yeah, I just it made it. I don't know. I hate to have to like be like, yeah, we have the best players by far, and we
Yeah.
could field 3 rosters better than any other roster, but we could.
We definitely could.
And-
we could. Yeah, we could.
And like that's the truth, and that's not the case in every sport.
Yeah.
Like we have worse soccer team. You know,
Yes.
we lose in the round of 16 there, and you know the United States doesn't consider themselves world champion, but the United States owns basketball, and
Yeah.
until like another country can beat the best players, you know.
We'll
I
see
think
when
that's
the
case.
Olympics come
Yeah,
around,
you know,
because I can't name the last time U.S. didn't bring home the gold there.
I've never seen United States best players lose.
Yeah.
And until I do, I mean, I'm gonna have this opinion.
And I mean, that wasn't the best lineup they had.
Right, no,
I
it was like
remember
Anthony
seeing it
and
assembled. I'm like, this is just
Edwards.
not that
Yeah,
great.
I remember them calling people up and being like, him? Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it was like Brunson, who I
Some
like,
guys,
but like it's
Jaren
like
Jackson's
yeah.
good. Like it's young
Josh
guys.
Hart, and it's like they're good players. Tyrese Halliburton was another one.
All
They're
I
good
could think,
players.
we're trying to get
but-
the young guns some
Yeah.
medals. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
I
when
mean,
saw
you
that.
also have to willingly play. Like
Yeah,
you're giving
right,
up your
and a lot of
time.
people. It's
I
your
mean,
summer.
yeah.
It's your off season.
This is your off season. Now you turn
literally,
around.
Time with your family. It was younger guys, probably don't have families, or you know,
Or they
don't
just want to play to win. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's reasons vary
Yeah,
for different people, but the long and the short of it is you're not facing LeBron James. You're not
Right.
facing Jason Tatum. You're not facing Stephen Curry. Like, it's just not what you're playing against.
And I hate that had to be the whole conversation
Yeah.
around it, because it's like it would have been nice to just be like, congratulations, Germany. But
Yes.
like I feel like we had to have this conversation now because of those comments.
Yeah. And I mean, big ups to Germany.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure,
like
good.
they played
Like,
great
take
the
advantage.
whole tournament.
yeah,
But I mean, this shouldn't be what we're talking about, and it
Agreed.
is.
Agreed.
One more thing about basketball I wanted to talk about, the new resting rule.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Yep.
No more resting back to backs.
So
you gotta have one.
Yeah, teams are not allowed to rest their stars
Right,
with like
right.
just a made up injury. They have to play, and primetime games they have to play, road games they have to play, and traditionally now in the NBA, a lot of these players have just started missing games,
Right, knee soreness,
or
whatever
a
it
flare
may
up
be.
here, and they're like, yeah. And then they're winning MVP. Like
Right.
Embiid missed 16, 18 games last year, and he got the MVP, and it's like they still won a lot of games without you. You played great, but
Right.
you're missing a lot of games. So the new rule for that in terms of winning MVP, the player must play in at least 65 regular season games, or the player played in at least 62 regular season games, suffered a season-ending injury, and played in at least 85% of the regular season games by his team prior to the player suffering said injury. So it's like that's steep, which is good because MVP has to win you games. You know, he has to be the guy on your team. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's interesting. My first initial reaction was, what constitutes a star player? Who's ineligible?
So they broke it down as a star player as somebody who's either made the All NBA team or the All Star game within the last 3 years.
Okay, that's a star
And they're
player.
gonna update it per year, and I'm
Okay.
not sure if they'll take you off. And there's now an age thing they're implying. So now
This
it
is
seems
funny.
like LeBron can get it,
Okay,
but not the average Joe.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wonder who wrote the rule.
Yeah, I read about that afterwards, and I
Yeah.
was like, that doesn't. I get it.
Yeah.
He's old, and you don't want him to just go away. But
Yeah.
why are you watching a Lakers game? You're watching for LeBron.
Right, I totally understand the NBA's perspective.
Yes.
Fans, it is a star-driven league.
Yeah.
Fans, especially younger fans, they come to the game and they want to see LeBron play.
Yes.
He's their idol. He's their star. They want to see LeBron, and to get to the game, the parents spend $1,000 to get the kid there to see LeBron, and he's not playing. That's not good. That's bad for the
Mm-hmm. It
league.
is really bad
leaves
for
a bad
basketball.
taste in everybody's mouth, and it's not good. But we need to, look after LeBron. I mean, and then LeBron's arguments like, yeah, I played all these back-to-backs. I've had 7 in the last 10.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And like, we can't say, no, you're not.
Yeah, but everybody else is.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
It's kind of how basketball works.
Right.
You're playing 82 games.
Right.
And you have to.
It's this situation where it's like, what do you do? I mean, like, I look at somebody like Kawhi, who I can probably say for a fact will get injured if he
Yes.
plays an entire season, and it's tough. It's like, what does he have to do? Fake an injury? find some doctor that will medically.
Well, that's the
tell him
thing.
to
If
get
they're
out.
faking injuries, the team gets fined.
Yeah, how will they find? I mean, another thought I had is if I was an NBA team, my first goal would be to try to find a doctor who I can get to say whatever I want.
But I'm not sure how easy that is
probably
to get
not
to that
very- I
point.
mean, doctors have
and the
medical
fines are
license.
steep. For like the first time, it's 100,000. Second time, it's 250,000, and then
Right.
it jumps to $1 million after that. It's like they're not playing around
Right.
with this. And we've seen new rules in any sport. They try to take it as serious as possible. So we'll see a team try to mess with it, and we'll see how it goes. But
It'll be interesting to see the first team that
Yeah.
goes down for this, and what are the circumstances.
you have a
Is it-
guess?
I'm thinking Dallas.
Dallas?
Just because of what happened last year
Yeah.
when they were tanking basically.
Uh-huh.
I think the NBA almost has a vendetta.
Yeah,
against
and this is
Cuban,
another
too.
ploy to take out tanking because Dame didn't play the last 13 games, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that was because they were out. They were done. And they just said, you're done playing. That's another reason they want stars to play when they're down the stretch, even if you don't have a certified play-in spot or anything.
Who do you think the first team to get?
I think the Clippers. 100% the
Yeah,
Clippers.
probably Kawhi. Paul
Kawhi's
George.
going
They
to
got
miss the
two of
game, and you're
big
going to be
ones.
like, yeah, that's sus.
Kyrie's coming back to the Mavs, right?
Yeah,
I
he
like
is
my
back.
Mavs pick.
That's
I like
a good
my
pick,
Mavs
too.
pick. That'd be
Kyrie
a
likes
fun
to do
one.
shady
That'd be a
stuff.
fun one. All right.
I don't like Kyrie, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That was it for episode 2 of
Yeah.
the Blowout Sports Podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you all next week.